The Crown Tundra is just 1 week away, and there are so many unanswered questions. Let's take a look.
Butterfree,
Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I brought you guys a brand new video today, and today we're gonna dive into 10 unanswered questions in the Crown Tundra. If you're a fan of the Pokemon series like me, you know there's just a lot of things that we just don't know about the Crown Tundra DLC, and with it just being a week away, there's still so many things left unanswered. We're gonna dive into it in this video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Get those notifications turned on. YouTube says that about 50% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so what's going on with that? But without further ado, let's take a look at what's going down in the Crown Tundra and what questions are still left unanswered. Before we jump into the video, I want to shout out my friends at Manji. Manji is the premier Nintendo Switch carrying case on the market. I've even got 2 myself. I actually have 3. When I tell you guys that Manji thought of everything in this command case, I mean it. Let's hit these bullet points. The straps on the back prevent finger fatigue and allow you to hold the case while playing much more comfortably, and you can even play while laying down. The detachable Joy-Cons have a new protective shell that's easier to remove than ever before. They actually redesigned these. There's a magnet locking kickstand that'll hold your Nintendo Switch up at the perfect viewing angle. I tell you what, even Nintendo's jealous of this case. Like really, compare that to this little flimsy thing here. This is garbage. For those of you with bigger hands, they even increased the length of the straps to make it a little bit easier for everybody. This soft touch case absorbs your sweat, and when I say they thought of everything, I really mean it. This 90-degree charging cable actually comes with it and allows you to charge your Nintendo Switch in tabletop mode as well, so you don't have to worry about the cable sticking out and hitting the table. The Manji command shell is available right now for just $22.99.
A small price to pay.
And if you're looking for a more robust solution, you can actually grab the full carrying case, which is super duper clutch because there's even a compartment to store your games and cables. The craziest thing is Manji even is coming out with a Nintendo Switch Lite case that you can pre-order now. Check out manjistore.com for more information. The first thing I want to talk about is actually the Reggis. We know we're going to get 2 new Regi Forms, Regieleki and Regidraco, and there's a lot of questions as to what their involvement is in the Galar region and what's going on with the Regis in general. Both Regice, Regirock, and Registeel are from the Hoenn region, whereas Regigigas was actually located in Snow Point Temple outside of Snow Point City in the Sinnoh region. So then it poses the question of, is there a connection of Sinnoh to the Crown Tundra? Is that a bit of a stretch with Diamond and Pearl potentially being the next remake next year? I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of questions there. And initially, those Regis were spread out across the regions to kind of disperse their power. So what's the deal with Regieleki? Does it have to do with the sky? Does Regidraco have something to do with the fossils, as it seems to be a fossilized Charizard head? Or are they just trying to pander to Gen 1 fans like myself once again by giving us another Charizard form? Charmageddon, I'm looking at you, bro. It's time. But yeah, there's just a lot of questions about the Regis and kind of what's going on with those. We know Regigigas might get a new form. He's got 3 dots on his chest. Is there going to be 2 more dots if he gets a Gigantamax? So many questions around the Regis and what's going down and why we even have new Regis in the first place. Now, this is a question I'm sure you guys have asked yourselves. What's going down with Peony and Rose? Rose, of course, one of the main kind of villain characters in the storyline of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and he's been seemingly locked away since kind of the end of the main story game where he kind of goes a little nuts and tries to bring about the darkest day, summon Eternatus, and ruin the whole world, I guess. But what's going on with Peony, who seems to look so much like Chairman Rose, and Peony seems to have some sort of a daughter that's leaked, and there's a lot of question marks around that. So what's going down there? Like, what's the connection between Peony and Rose? Are they brothers? Are they cousins? Are they not related at all? It's just a coincidence. They look so similar. I feel like there's got to be some sort of relation there. Will Rose be making a comeback in the Crown Tundra as well? A lot of question marks around those characters for sure. I think it's also worth mentioning that a Peony is a type of flower, much like a rose is a type of flower. I mean, there's just no way they're not related, right? What's the deal with the Ultra Beasts? We know that there's going to be a chapter in the Crown Tundra that's been leaked, that there's going to be Return from the Ultra Beyond or whatever, and we know that the Ultra Beasts are inevitably coming back, and we're going to see Poipole and the Gonadel and you know, Guzzlord and all those. So what's going on with the Ultra Beasts? How does this tie into the Galar region and the Crown Tundra? Are we going to Ultra Space, or are they just going to randomly pop up somewhere? Are they going to show up through the raid feature, which we'll talk about later in this video? There's a lot of question marks about these Ultra Beasts and how it ties in. In Sun and Moon, it made sense. You were able to open up these portals with these different flutes from Solgaleo and Lunala, and then you rode on those Pokemon into the Ultra Space, and you were able to get these Ultra Beasts in the wild. And sometimes they would kind of show up in the real world because they were coming through wormholes. But there's no wormholes in Crown Tundra or the Galar region as far as we know up to this point. So how do these Ultra Beasts just kind of show up in the world? I have no idea. We're gonna find out for sure, but is it just gonna be slapped in there, or are there just gonna be a lot of holes about how this all works together? I don't know. I hope that we can go to Ultra Space again. That would be really sick, but again, if they just throw them in the raid dens, it's gonna be like, meh. You know what I'm saying? Kind of meh. Kind of meh. It'd be meh. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Calirex has these like Triforce signs all over this dude, and I'm not sure if there's gonna be a Legend of Zelda tie-over. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but Nintendo's done some crazy things in the past. They've obviously blended franchises together in the past. There's been Mario references in Pokemon in the past. Actually, if I remember correctly, in Sun and Moon, there was an outfit in one of the early stores, I think on Melee Island, that showed a Mario outfit. So there have been crossovers in the past of the different Nintendo franchises, and it wouldn't be that crazy for Calirex to have some sort of ties to the Legend of Zelda with those Triforces. But regardless of that and that kind of crazy theory there's a lot of questions about Calirex in general, right? It's a super kind of mythical, legendary type Pokemon, and we know through leaks that there's probably going to be some sort of relation to some horses that we know nothing about at this point, other than there's 2 names for horses and they seemingly fuse with Calirex. So what's going down with this Pokemon? What are the secrets that Calirex is hiding, and what's its role going to be in the Crown Tundra as a legendary Pokemon or as a storyline Pokemon? A lot of questions around Calirex and what's going down there. And again, is there going to be a tie-in with Legend of Zelda? That would actually be really sick. Why are the legendary birds in the Crown Tundra? We know that Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres generally make their home in the Kanto region, but we've also seen them in the Kalos region as well, kind of roaming around. So what's going on in the Crown Tundra? Why are they there, and why are they a new form? What caused them to change this new form? I have something, a lot of reason to believe it has to do with that tree, which has kind of the, the little fruits on it and stuff. We see them fighting around the tree. Something tells me that that tree has something to do with it, but ultimately, what's going on with these birds, and why are they in the Crown Tundra? Why did they change their form? I mean, with most Pokemon, we can kind of understand why they have new transition forms, especially when it comes to the Alola lore. The Galarian lore for some of these mons are a little bit lackluster, but nevertheless, there's a lot of question marks around these birds. What got them to the Crown Tundra in the first place, and why did they change forms to do that? Or are these the original birds, actually? Let's just be real. These could be the original ones, and the ones that we knew over the last 20-something years, those were the other forms, man. Who knows? I know all my Shawnee hunters out there want to know this question. Are the Shawnee Legendaries Shawnee locked? In the Isle of Armor, we were unable to hunt Kubfu, which is pretty standard affair. Like, not being able to hunt the Legendaries isn't really a big deal. But the question is, will we be able to hunt those Galarian birds? And will we be able to hunt the Reggis, Regieleki and Regidraco? These Pokemon are going to be new to the franchise for the first time. Will Game Freak and Nintendo lock them behind some sort of stupid GameStop event that prevents us from actually accessing these Shawnees in the future? And actually, to further the question, Pokemon like Tapu Bulu and Lele and Finny and Coco, those Pokemon have only previously been released Shawnee through events as well. So will we be able to access those Shawnee Pokemon through raid den exploration or through some story or whatever it is? A lot of question marks about the Shawnee hunting aspect in Crown Tundra. And I'll tell you what, like, this is a big question, and some people may not care about it, but for the people like myself who Shawnee hunts all the time, this is a lot of hours of gameplay added if we can Shawnee hunt them, and it's a lot of hours of gameplay taken away if we cannot. So my gut says that we will not be able to hunt Calirex, but we will be able to Shawnee hunt the rest. I don't know. We'll see. One of the most highly discussed features at this point is the raid den exploration system, right? We know that we're going to be able to dive into the dens and actually explore them further than just going into a little beam, and we actually go into the cave system and do that. But it seems as though it's like some sort of a rental team system where you actually acquire Pokemon as you go through it. And the real question is this feature going to be fun, or is it just going to be doing raids like we've been doing, but you just do multiple at a time? My gut says that this feature is actually probably going to be very disappointing, and I have my hopes very, very low right now because, again, I just don't anticipate it to be a thrilling experience. Now, admittedly, I did find that the raid system was actually really fun when the game first came out, but it got old very quick, and then with all the exploited raids and things like that, it definitely lost its luster in my opinion. But I do feel like there is a possibility here, but again, I'm not going to hold my breath on this one. I think the raid den exploration could be kind of a thumbs down for me, but we'll have to see what they end up doing. Will there be enough kind of features to it, enough kind of fun to it to give people a reason to even play it in the first place? Or is it just like one of those gimmicky things they're throwing in there as a selling point to get people to get the Crown Tundra in the first place? I'm a pretty adept Pokemon player, and I obviously like to compete, and the Galarian Star Tournament at a first glance actually seems really cool. The opportunity to do double battles or VGC style battles with other characters in the game, your favorite gym leaders, and Milo, and you can team up with them and actually battle against other trainers, and it seems kind of neat, especially from like, I could see like kids being super excited about it. But is it gonna be hard? That's the question. Is it gonna be hard? Is it gonna be Battle Frontier hard? Is it gonna be difficult in the sense that you need to use strategy and you need to strategically team up with certain people to kind of work with those strategies in the first place? Or is it gonna be something where like you legitimately just click, you know, you send out your Zacian and just, you know, attack? It's gonna, you know what I mean? And I feel like that difficulty level is gonna be very, very important in determining whether that has any sort of playability or replayability moving forward, especially like I said, for someone like myself and many of you who are adept Pokemon players who have been playing this game for countless hours. Like I'm at like 1,800 hours total, man. Like I need something difficult for it to even be worth my time. And in that same conversation, not necessarily about the Galarian Star Tournament, but in general, what are they gonna do with all this influx of legendary Pokemon for the VGC metagame? Admittedly, I kind of dropped off of VGC after the COVID-19 situation and I wasn't able to compete at real tournaments anymore in person. But we know that the metagame is going to get shaken out. Pokemon like Landorus Therian have constantly destroyed the metagame, and with Dynamaxing, allowing it to max Airstream, that's going to be nuts. So are they going to limit legendaries? Are legendaries just going to roll out all at once? What's that format going to look like? Because it can very quickly turn into a format filled with Tapus, Xerneas, and legendary Pokemon like that as soon as they allow them. So I'm a little hesitant to be excited about competitive VGC if that's what it's going to look like, because again, I've been very, very adamant about the fact that I think inevitably that's where it's gonna get to, but I do not want to play a legendary format. I have no interest in that personally. Like, it's just, I just don't really care that much about legendary Pokemon. I just don't want to play in a format where every team is 6 legendaries. To me, that's just lame, and I'm actually curious as to your thoughts on that. Do you guys like legendary formats like that, where like every team is like 5 or 6 legendaries, or would you prefer kind of formats where we have now, where things are kind of dominated by Pokemon like Rillaboom and Cinderace and Togekiss? I know a lot of those were recently banned, but you know, they'll be back, of course. You know, things like Lapras, Gmax Lapras, stuff like that. What would you prefer, the legendary format or kind of the standard format we've been working with over the last few months? This is a big question going to the Isle of Armor, and I think a lot of us, myself included, were very disappointed in the sense of, will we get any other Galarian forms or Gmax forms, right? We went into the Isle of Armor thinking, okay, we're gonna get Galarian Slowbro, this is gonna be sick. What other Galarian forms are they gonna give us? And they gave us nothing. And I remember being so crushed thinking like, wow, they really did that to us. They really gave us no new forms. That's actually crazy. And you could say, oh, well, what about this? But like, real talk, they really didn't give us anything new, right? There was a few Gigantamaxes that we knew were coming, but there wasn't anything that was a secret, you know what I mean? So going into the Crown Tundra, what's the deal with that? Are we gonna get new Galarian forms, or are we gonna be left in the same situation where we just get Galarian Slowking and we're kind of left there a little bit disappointed about the fact that there's really nothing new there? And again, when it comes to Gigantamax forms, I kind of alluded to like Gmax, Regigigas. Is that going to happen, or are we just going to be disappointed and get Calirex, a couple fusions, that's about it? I don't know, man. I'm really hopeful that they do something, though, let me tell you, because I would love to see new Galarian forms. I love seeing Pokemon reimagined. It's actually one of my favorite features in the franchise, basically since Alola. And I think the biggest question is this the last DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield? There's a lot of questions remaining about what's going to go down next year. We know next year is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. I have no doubt that it is going to be a big year for Pokemon. We know Pokemon Snap is coming. Pokemon Unite is coming at some point. What's next? What is going to be the next game? Are they going to drop that Dominant Pearl remake, Sinnoh remake in the fall next year, which is what I would put my money on at this point? Or are they going to do 2 more DLCs next year in a separate bundle? Now, one thing that kind of counteracts the DLC bundle is they are going to be releasing a new package where you can get Sword and Shield and the DLCs all together, and that's going to come out, I think, in a few weeks. So that leads us to believe, like, why would they come out with another DLC after that? But again, we've seen a ton of rumors, and there's been a lot of speculation of, will there be another DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield? Will there be 2 more DLCs? How long are they going to keep this game going? And my guess is if they do not do other DLCs, then there's almost inevitably going to be a new game next year. If they do DLCs, then there probably won't be a new game next year. So a lot of question marks about that, but I'm interested to see what happens with the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. And again, tons of questions unanswered. As I said, there's just a ton of unanswered questions going into the Crown Tundra, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video today where I broke them all down. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you feel like I missed anything that was a really big or pressing issue for you. And what do you think about the different formats? Do you think we're gonna get a full legendary format right away, or are they gonna kind of ease us into it? And let me know what you think about next year, man. 25th year anniversary is gonna be a big year for us. Be sure to hit that like button down below if you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and make sure you guys get those notifications on. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys on our next video. Peace. If you guys enjoyed this video, you definitely should check out this one right here. Otherwise, this one's not too bad either. Check out one of these 2 videos and have yourself an awesome day. Peace.